Hi there everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Nimbus here, another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's deck tech, I'm going to be going through my black, red and green control deck. So some of you may have seen me play this deck the other day on stream. I have made a couple of odd changes since then, but basically the overall theme of the deck is exactly the same. So to start off with, we have the 1 red mana Galvanic Bombardment that does 2 damage, so very similar to Fiery Impulse, but the more copies of Galvanic Bombardment you have in your graveyard, the more damage it does. So by the time you get up to the 4th one that you want to play, it's doing 5 damage, so it can potentially do quite a bit of damage to target creatures. Deathcap Cultivator is in here as a pseudo ramp card and also an early game creature drop. Elvish Visionary is there for the card draw throughout any stage of the game. Grasp of Darkness is just a nice removal spell that can deal -4/-4 to any creature. Ravaging Blaze, so this is a nice removal spell which can deal X damage to target creature. With Spell Mastery you can also then deal damage to target creature, to that creature's controller, which is also useful for dealing with Planeswalkers, because if you can deal a large amount of X damage to a creature you can also take out a Planeswalker. Rolling Thunder is also in here for Planeswalker removal, so late game you can use the Rolling Thunder's X damage to deal lots and lots of damage to target Planeswalker. Fleshbag Marauder is there as spot creature removal, so if your opponent only has one creature on the battlefield, Fleshbag Marauder is likely to take it out. A couple of copies of Reclamation Sage, so this is in here to deal with all of the tutelage decks running around right now. Just got the 2 copies and also the 1 copy of the, what's it called, Woodland Bellower. So essentially got 3 copies in the deck. 2 copies of Murder to destroy target creature. Radiant Flames is our first sweeper to sweep up to 3 damage across the board. Exquisite Firecraft is our kind of direct damage, so it does 4 damage to target creature or player or Planeswalker. You can also, it's also uncounterable with Spell Mastery in play. Liliana is in here for her ability to ping small creatures, dig up creatures from our graveyard, and then also her ultimate ability to summon lots of zombies. Kalitas is always nice because you can then use all your removal spells to then kind of like exile your opponent's creatures and then also generate zombies from my side of the battlefield. Languish is our second big sweeper, so -4/-4 across the board. A little bit of ramp just to get us up to some of our big creatures later on in the game, so a couple of copies of Explosive Vegetation. Ob Nixilis, because he's an awesome Planeswalker, can draw cards, destroy creatures, and then also generate the emblem where whenever a card is drawn, a player loses 2 life. Woodland Bellower is here to search up for either the Elvish Visionaries or the Reclamation Sages. Chandra, another awesome Planeswalker, which can generate the 3/1 tokens to deal 6 damage every turn, redraw us a lot of cards if all we're pulling his lands, which is always quite nice, and also you can use it as a pseudo sweeper as well. And then finally, to finish off with, as a big finisher, we've got Ulamog. So if we're stalled right out to the late game and we find Ulamog, we can drop him and he's probably going to win the match for us. In terms of the amount of mana we've got, I'm going to reshuffle that very slightly. Because we've got, let me just drop one of the green black sources down, probably one of the Hissing Quagmires actually, just because we've got a pretty even number of all of the colours, and the Hissing Quagmire is one of those manas which is always going to come in tapped, whereas all the other ones we've got, so we've got 2 of each of the other dual coloured sources for each of the colours we're running, so Smoldering Marsh, Cinder Glade, Woodland Cemetery, Rootbound Crag and Dragonskull Summit, and then obviously the Evolving Wilds because we're playing more than 2 colours. Okay, that is the deck, let's go play some games. Okay guys, here we are for game number 1. I completely missed who we're playing there as I was fiddling about with something else. This is quite a nice opening hand. So we've got the Evolving Wilds to find us a green source straight away. Then got 1 of each of these. We've got the Elvish Visionary for the card draw. Yeah, this is actually quite a nice opening hand. I will keep this. Got the Rec Sage to deal with any early game tutelages that we might find. And we're also playing the rank 32. Pardon me, that's disgusting. The rank 32 Freako is who we're playing for game number 1. I really apologise for that. I couldn't stop myself. I was halfway through saying something and it just slipped out. Let's get that green source so we can drop either of these straight away. Okay, we've got another Evolving Wilds, but I think I'd rather Elvish Visionary first. Draw us up another card. Okay, that fixes the red and the black, so this one doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to go for black, I suppose. I don't think we've got any triple coloured cards. Okay, we'll drop the Evolving Wilds. Very nice. We found Kalitas as well. So we'll just swing with the Elvish Visionary. And then we're going to play out the Deathcap Cultivator. That will actually allow us to play out Kalitas next turn, which is quite nice. Plus also have a Galvanic Bombardment to deal with any creatures that our opponent might play out as well. I'm probably going to get a red source from this. Yeah, so this is pretty much perfect. So if we grab a red source from you, drop the Dragonskull Summit. There we go. We can play out Kalitas, make sure we leave one red source open. And then we can Galvanic Bombardment, which kills you and also gets us the zombie token. Yeah, I don't know how useful the Rec Sage is going to be in this particular matchup. I'm not sure how many enchantments black-white vampires tends to play. Okay, he's just going to declare in stone our Kalitas. Kind of works for me, as that just means we get to draw a card instead next turn. Depends what we find as well. How much mana are we up to? We're up to 6 mana, so we're doing pretty well on the mana front already. 7 if you include the Deathcap Cultivator. So I think we're just going to swing with everything here, and then probably just clue token. So target opponent sacrifices an attacking creature. So the 1 attack creature. So yeah, I think we're just going to clue token. Okay, so he has gone for the Gideon, so I want to see what we find here. Fleshbag is pretty useful actually, because if he goes for the token, we can just Fleshbag and then kill Gideon straight away. Could also find something more useful on our next draw. I wait to be amazed. Okay, Chandra. Can we play out? Can we actually play out Chandra this turn? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can actually play her out, and yeah, that's what we really want to do. So 1, 2, 3 goes for Gideon, and then I hold you back as a blocker for that potentially. So I'm assuming he won't block because there's no point, because it's going to die regardless. So yeah, I hold you back as a blocker for the 2/2. Okay, we've got Gisela, so I can potentially just sweep away the board here. If he swings at Chandra, that's just dead anyway. No, he decided not to do that. Haha, we have the Languish though. Do I just Languish here? I'm going to swing with everything. I'm going to +1. Who am I looking for? Chandra first. Swing with everything. And if he blocks, we just Languish. Or we could also Fleshbag, which works for me. Because we just sacrifice one of these tokens. Because they're going to die anyway. Okay, very nice. We've managed to preserve our Languish for later on. Because we're going to lose. If we languished, we were going to lose those 2 creatures anyway. So I feel as though that's okay. And he's just left the game. Okay, so that's worked out pretty well for game number 1. Okay guys, here we are for game number 2. What's really funny is I just got paired up again against the guy I just beat, and he mulliganed down like 3 or 4 times and just rage quit straight away, so that was kind of hilarious. Probably going to start off with the Cinder Glade here, because that will mean that these 2 both come in untapped. That gives us all the red mana we need for pretty much everything for the time being, so yeah, this is quite a nice mana to have down on turn 1. We also have the Smoldering Marsh, so that's going to come in tapped later on. I love that we've got all of our red and black like dual lands. We're only missing 1 more Smoldering Marsh and we've got all of them, which is kind of silly. Okay, so our opponent has done nothing so far. 2 white mana. Okay, so we've got double Elvish Visionary, which is very nice to see. So we get a couple of early card draws. Exquisite Firecraft is never a bad thing. Before we play out a Ravaging Blaze later on, we obviously want to get at least 2 instants or sorceries into our graveyard. Okay, we've got red, interesting, was not expecting that. So we've got a Lantern Scout here, so it looks like we're playing allies, would be my assumption. So we can play the Elvish Visionary and a Galvanic Bombardment this turn. Got a Rec Sage for dealing with any enchantments he may play, but let's get you into the graveyard, get our first Spell Mastery trigger into the discard pile. And then we're just going to go for another Elvish Visionary. Liliana is very nice to see. So we can get her down next turn. Opponent's on 4 mana. What's he played out? A Chasm Guide. Okay, so gets haste, doesn't he? Yeah. So we'll probably just let that go through. And then instead of Liliana, I'm thinking maybe Fleshbag instead. Just because he's only got 1 creature down. And so we'll swing with both of these. We could also Galvanic Bombardment, to be fair, although I kind of want to save that for something with a bit more than 2 health. You know, this is a pretty good opportunity to get a Fleshbag down, just because we've got 2 creatures that we don't really care about. I mean, potentially we could also use Liliana to bring one of them back later on if we wanted to search up for some more cards. So we're doing pretty well here to control the board. We've got the board control. We've got 2 creatures to his none. We've got a nice hand with some good removal. And he appears to have run out of creatures. Okay, interesting. So I think we're just going to swing for 3. I'm going to hold open a blocker. Reason being is if he does play like another Chasm Guide, I want to be able to block Chasm Guide before it connects with Liliana. We do have the Galvanic Bombardment to deal with a potentially bigger creature as well. This will do 3 damage. Why did I not... Did I just click on finish turn without +1ing Liliana? I think I did, didn't I? Whoops. That was a bit silly of me. I did not mean to do that. I was too busy talking and I was like, oh, just continue. That's alright. Liliana's, you know, her ultimate is way away. Come on, Mr. Fast! Yeah, we're playing the rank 27 Fast. I don't know if I pointed that out. We're up to rank 29 now. We're about to hit 30 finally. Ugh. It's been a long road, but we're about to hit 30. I feel as though I'm almost like that in real life. I'm 26 now. I'm not exactly a spring chicken, so almost at my 30s. Stone Quarry, so he's not going to be able to get any 5 drops down this turn. And he's just left. Okay, interesting. I'll take the win, and let's move on to game number 3. Okay guys, here we are for game number 3. We're playing the rank 31 Brother Strider, I think that was. I will find out in a minute though. This is okay. We've got a couple of sweepers to play around with, so I'm going to keep it. You're playing Brother Strider. Probably going to go for a black source with this Evolving Wilds, and then probably drop the Hissing Quagmire on turn 2. Don't know why I decided to pop the Evolving Wilds there, but he's doing nothing else anyway. Okay, we need another red source before we can play out the Exquisite Firecraft or the Ravaging Blaze. Do have a Hissing Quagmire as a death-touching creature if we need it though. Okay, it looks like we are playing an aggressive deck, potentially. So it looks like red deck wins, I would assume. Okay, we do have the Languish as well, so I'm kind of thinking, sod it. Let's not beat around the bush. We've got lots of sweep here. I don't really mind getting rid of an early majoring bully, which could give us problems. Especially as he's got no other creatures by the looks of things as well. So that was definitely a good call. I mean, we could have gone in with the Hissing Quagmire, but yeah, we could have actually done that. What am I doing? I could have swung for 2 there. Okay, he's got the Handmade Battlements. Yeah, I really should have swung with the Hissing Quagmire there. Although I do want to kind of make him think that he's got something to be afraid of. Do I play out the Rec Sage? Nah. No, I think we're just going to go for the 2 damage this turn instead. Okay, this is where he's... Is he going to be able to kill that? He is going to be able to kill that. That was a mistake then. I was not expecting a Ravaging Blaze. That was extremely silly of me. To be fair, I was not expecting... I really should have done, though. That feels like a bit of an amateur mistake. And now he's got a Impetuous Devils. So he's going to swing for 6. That is pretty brutal. At least that gets exiled, doesn't it? He's got to sacrifice it, so... We need another red source, ideally, for... Okay, there we go. Got another red source. So I'm thinking, let's not be hasty. We've got the Ravaging Blaze to potentially deal up to 2 damage. Can only have 1 of them. That's no, you can have up to 2 Impetuous Devils. My bad. Yeah, let's not get suckered into wasting our creatures if we don't have to. Let's just ramp up very slowly. We've got the control. Get another black... Yeah, we need another black source for the Languish here, so that's important with the Evolving Wilds. He's played out a Dragon Fodder, so we could potentially Rolling Thunder that instead of... And he's going to Infectious Bloodlust. So we could kill that one. I'm going to pop you first, so I get the Languish. Oh, sorry, the black source for the Languish. What's that going to go up to? Going to go up to a 3-2, so we're going to take 3 damage. I feel as though it's probably more worthwhile to take the 3 damage and then just use a sweeper this turn. And he's going to Titan Strength. Okay, that puts a nail in the coffin. Actually, cancel that. That's going to go up to a 6-3, which we can't actually kill this way. So we're going to take 6 damage instead. Okay, should have killed it before. Actually, that would have gone on the stack and I would have actually been able to kill that. Whoops-a-daisy. That was a bit silly of me. My brain completely went for a second there. So yeah, I think we're just going to have to Radiant Flames here for 3. We need one of our win cons at this point. So he gets another Infectious Bloodlust. Yeah, that was quite silly of me, although we were always going to struggle to deal with a second one here anyway. If he's got another aggressive creature that he can put an Infectious Bloodlust on, we could be in for another Impetuous Devil, so we're going to get down to 2 health now with an Infectious Bloodlust on it, so we've just outright lost there. Yeah, I should have killed... we can't do anything about this, unfortunately. So that's GG. Let's move on to game number 4. Okay guys, here we are for game number 4. We're playing the ranked, was that 20A Smoky? This is a trash tier opening hand. This is okay because we've got the Elvish Visionary. Okay, so he's gone for the hyper aggressive Expedition Envoy on turn 1. Yeah, we're playing A Smoky. Yeah, that my huge mistake in that last game was definitely not using the Ravaging Blaze on the creature. For some reason I completely forgot about how the stack worked and didn't really think clearly. Okay, so he's got 2 2/2 down. We can deal with that with the Radiant Flames in 2 turns. So we're probably going to chump block you with the Elvish Visionary. Would not mind a 4th mana here, because that way we can get Explosive Vegetation down on turn 4. Excellent. Thank you, Elvish Visionary. You're a lifesaver. So you're going to chump block, and then we're going to Radiant Flames on turn 3. Especially if he plays out another creature, we could get a lot of value out of this. Come on, play a 3rd creature with 3 toughness or less. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is going to be beautiful. Beautiful, I tell you. So we're going to chump block this one, because otherwise it won't actually push it out of range, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to take 3 damage regardless. Go down to 15. Yeah, we've got the 3 colours that we need. Oh, it doesn't really matter. We're only going to go for 2 here, but it's still enough. I just realised I should have gone for the mountain there, but it was okay. I almost made a huge mistake there, but luckily they were all on 2 toughness or less. Whew, breathe a sigh of relief. So he's got nothing. Nope, he's got nothing. So we're pretty safe to Explosive Vegetation here. Gonna get a black and a red source. Gives us enough for murder and enough for Chandra. That's why the Explosive Vegetations are in here. It's turn 4, getting up to the 6 mana Planeswalkers. So far he's got nothing. Okay, interesting. Got another sweeper. So we're just going to drop Chandra here. Green-White Humans has got nothing that can stop Chandra. Sorry, I just responded to a text message somebody I work with has just sent me. Just been asking me if I'm still alive. So he's going to block with the Avacyn, okay. So unfortunately, Chandra is going to take 1 point of damage, which is not the ideal thing here. We can deal with you next turn though, with either a Murder or a Ravaging Blaze. Collective effort. So he's gonna kill my Chandra. That's a shame. And unfortunately, we've got no way of stopping him. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to murder you. And then probably just play our Deathcap Cultivator. Just, you know, because we can. So we need some win cons. Rolling Thunder and Ravaging Blaze are potential win cons. Yeah, that will deal... Was it? How much mana we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that will deal 5 damage. That'll also deal 5 damage. So we need to push through a little bit more up until that point. You're going to die quite nicely. Thanks to the Ravaging Blaze. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I suppose it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be able to play anything else out this turn. Oh no, that did my Deathcap Cultivator. What am I doing? Ah, that was silly of me. I was like, oh yeah, I can do 5 damage, and then forgot about the fact that I could have swung with the Deathcap Cultivator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we need 3 more mana and an Ulamog to really guarantee the win here. So we've got a little Duskwatch Recruiter. So he's going to trigger it. Find himself another creature. Does he have to reveal it? Okay, no, apparently he did not have any creatures because he would have had to reveal it otherwise. Let's go for the Elvish Visionary first here, because that way we can always then Fleshbag. Deal with you. Another Rolling Thunder is quite nice to see. So we can now swing for 2 with the Deathcap Cultivator. Yeah, we just want to start kind of taking his health down a little bit with our our small creatures, keeping his off the board, and then just going for a couple of big Rolling Thunders to finish off with. Okay, and Evolving Wilds is okay, so we'll just swing for 5 here. Yep, I can afford to swing with the Deathcap Cultivator. We still have the dual black source open there. So we've got him down to 10. So yeah, we've got the double Rolling Thunder now to finish him off with. Or just next turn if he's got no other creatures. So he's played out Hamlet Captain, which I think we're just going to murder on his end step if he plays out nothing else. There we go. So I think this is going to be a victory for game number 3 or 4, I think it is. The first couple of games went lightning fast. Swing 5 and then Rolling Thunder to finish off with. Yep, that'll work out perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Okay, excellent. Good way to finish off. Back up to rank 30, completed a quest as well. We're getting pretty close to 9,000 gold. I'm about 3,000 away from having enough for the full set. So, how much does gold cost? Like, if I was a little bit short, probably going to cost me a few quid if I want to get enough gold for the whole of the Kalitas set. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to leave it here for now. As always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you've enjoyed the episode. If you're new to the channel, it's always nice to see you hit subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.